positive vibration. So just came on quickly just to share maybe perhaps something that might be a little useful. So I have very fine texture, semi-freeform hair, or fine, quote unquote, afro textured hair, what they're known as 4C. So I just washed it and blotted it dry with some towels. I am starting to see the wisdom in using dark towels because I've tried microfiber. Now I also like the feeling of cotton, but just to squeeze them dry and then I let them air dry. I'm going to be out in the garden, so I have a very fine scarf that I can put over them so that they can dry. But this actually is my tip. So I like the feeling of my hair very light, and it has body because there's no oil in it, and my scalp feels great and it's nice and clean. So only thing I may use is tea, sometimes very well strained aloe gel through the plant milk bag, and that's it. And shampoo, diluted, very good quality, with no nothing in it, right? Clear, very delicate, so that it doesn't strip the hair. But in terms of like, I can't tell you the last time I twisted my hair. Some of them are starting to join again. So with afro textured hair, you'll see many people with form greetings with freeform and semi-freeform locks. You know how our hair likes to knot and likes to beat up. Some people call them kitchens or whatever. It will beat up. And actually all the hair that's not in a lock will get caught up when I put it inside of a ponytail holder. But because I don't like to use gel or things that flake up or look like dandruff inside the hair, what I found I can do when my hair is wet, this is all that I'm doing, very simple. And I like low maintenance. When it's very wet, I'll just smooth it down, right? And I just tie a scarf on it. So that will make it look somewhat neat or polished, a little more polished, if you will. The other thing I use very sparingly and very gently is like you can use a baby brush, or like a really soft. This is like super duper soft. This one, in an effort to keep things cruelty free. This one is pretty soft, a little firmer than the other one, but looking for a cruelty free brush. I have these two. From time to time, I will ever so gently brush the locks, just because, shed hair sometimes can leave, you can see the root of the, I don't know if they call it the papilla or the follicle sometimes here, and it will look very white, like little white dots. And also just to gently like pull any kind of lint out of their hair. So from time to time, but that's sparingly, because my hair is so delicate. I do not want to over brush, because this is not straight hair, it's kinky hair, it's an afro. So I just want to make sure that there's no light dust or any follicles or any lint in it. But other than that, for the most part, I keep a spray bottle with water for my filter. From time to time, I'll do the cucumber thyme rinse. That's also in this channel, which I can use on my skin as well as my hair. So I don't have to be spending on rose water all the time until I can grow my own roses. But when it's wet, I'll spray it lightly, and I will just tie my, I'll just tie it down. That's it. So to dry and it looks neat. And I know that's something that we do usually when we have styling gel. But things that stiffen my hair, even oil over time can make it feel very stiff. And I know growing up when I would see girls wear a doobie, I never wore a doobie. When you have the hair, look, it's going around with the pins, it looks like a circus tent. Quite often, Afro women, we do that to get body in our hair, because our hair doesn't fall the same way. I can definitely say one of the benefits of not having oil is my hair has a lot of body, so it's going to shrink up significantly. So it does still shrink. 4C hair with locks, it has a little more quote unquote hang time, and I'm constantly getting a haircut from the areas where I have put lots of beads and stuff. Those areas are thin, so they will naturally break off. And I decided not to, I've done a little trimming, but for the most part, I just let it organically break off. But that's it. So if I want, now my hair, it does look dry, but it's actually very soft. So I am okay with what my hair naturally does. And I have retrained myself in my eyes to be used to my own hair, my own skin, my own eyebrows. So like I said, if this is valuable to you, my intention is to share the experience of us reclaiming being comfortable with ourselves, right? At times you don't always want to put lipstick and gloss and styling gel. Sometimes you just want to feel free and comfortable in your own body and practice seeing yourself. So reason I have a little blemish here, which is rare, but I don't put anything on my skin. And I think when you have perceived imperfections, I think it's extremely important to sit with yourself and listen to the internal dialogue and trust in your body. If you know you're doing everything possible to nurture your body in terms of the foods, movement, sleep, your body is intelligent. It has a divine intelligence, and it will heal these things on its own. It's telling you a story. If I ate too much fats, in terms of seeds or nuts, if they're unsoaked, or if I haven't been sleeping, as well, your body is telling a story. So rather than fighting, doing a quick cover up, it can really be valuable to use these moments to listen to your body, even to your hair. Like if we never let it go through a growth process, let's say for example, I say lessons from the garden will teach you something all the time. And we see lots of weeds and even things that may appear to be dying in the garden. We're quick to be very sterile, right? And we want to pull everything out. But if you've never grown certain plants in a full season, you may not recognize that when that plant goes through the quote unquote dying phase, you'll notice that it will start to seed, right? So it will go through a whole life cycle, and it can be very insightful to see the plant go through the phases of baby and, little child plant to teenage plant to the point we start to see the hints of flowers. And once you see the flowers, there's going to be fruit, for certain kinds of plants after. And then when it goes on the decline, and then when it gives you a seed, and you want to let the plant go to full seed, let it dry out completely, so you'll have some seeds to replant. But there are certain areas people may think, oh, that garden looks horrible or it's dead or whatever. But it's a full growth cycle. So sometimes you just not be so quick to just sterilize everything. It's a garden, right? We need actually the bacteria. So us being so sterile is one of the reasons, one of the contributing factors to us having B12 deficiencies. So again, I know with this type of hair, the interesting color or whatever, this would be a type of hair many people, or if I hadn't retrained my eye, would be quick to want to dye it, condition it, oil it, cut it, trim it, all like trying to get away from what it does, right? What the hair and the skin does. So I make a practice of radical self-acceptance and to really sit in the feedback that my body temple is giving me, my hair, my skin. It's communicating something. And quite often we'll go to so-called professionals to have them who don't even know you in a quick couple of minutes to give you feedback, whereas if we could slow down, make an effort to slow down, we could really listen to the feedback it's giving us and go through our own experimentation process in terms of seeing what is working for our body. Greetings, Jaleesa. Greetings, Amuse. I just recently eliminated all oil from my hair regimen inspired by you. I was hesitant at first, but my hair is so much softer. Oh, it's hard for me to see these messages. and even fuller than it was before. Right. I miss what shampoo you use. So I've done different things. Maybe I'll do more things, but I can say one of the reasons I strive for simplicity is because it just takes so much off the table, so I can see actually what is happening. When we take the makeup, and not demonizing makeup, right? I love beautification. But my first priority is health, and I strive to make health my #1 beauty product. And so I would say there's a fear. I think in my experience, there's actually a fear if you listen to your internal dialogue. What's going to happen, right? This texture here, many folks ain't getting a lot of play. It's very fine. It's not very dense over here. It literally does what it wants to do. It doesn't follow tutorials and all this other stuff. So the very thought of me not putting oil in it, I've had numerous people oil this, well-intentioned and sharing things that have worked for them, but actually oil, right? I really enjoy the simplicity of my hair. And then intuitively, I feel like if it grows out of the hair and it's nice and soft, why do we have to do all these things to it unless we're trying to make it do something else? Again, that's not wrong. But I like right now I'm prone to acne. So if I had a whole bunch of oil And my hair would be on my pillows and all over the stuff. It just gives me more things to do. And it's too much psychologically. I'll be honest with you. It's just too much. There may be times when I want to play in terms of beauty or maybe an eyeliner or something like that. But or mascara, which, you know, I do like. And there are some vegan brands. But I will always strive to use what is around me, right? And I'm very conscious and aware that I really think we should profit, Afro women should profit off of the things that we use for beautification. The Afro women here in the Americas as well as abroad, right? Because we spend trillions of dollars. And if our health is not in mind, priority from others, right? It's like asking people for validation or ask people to do something for you that don't have really a best interest at heart. And I'm not saying that in a negative light, but we should be prospering and flourishing economically off of the things we use for beautification. That just intuitively feels so right to me. So anyway, then many people are like, oh, why don't you oil it and do this and that? But I'm like, the experiment, what? And look how easily it joins together. What happens if I just leave it alone? What happens if you leave your skin alone and allow it to breathe? What happens if you allow yourself to see the scarring and let it go through its natural process? I remember years ago following the older women in my family, the Caribbean side, that would use bleaching creams. I was like, oh, you see something? How do I know about bleaching cream as a little girl unless I'm watching the women that are older than me, right? So there was Ambi. They would get the soap and what is it, the cream. It was bleaching cream, right? That's not how it was said, but it's bleaching cream. They just said lighten the spots. But I remember those creams, and it was something Venus de Milo, and they smelled kind of funky, like not kind of, it smelled funky like sulfur. But I remember if you read the package, it says it took, I don't know, 4 weeks, 6 weeks for you to see results. But if you just leave your skin alone, and I'm saying this to someone that had tremendous amount of scarring, it's rare that I will get something, but even now, if you just sit and watch the process, how are we letting other people be more of an expert on our hair and skin than us, right? That's a conflict of interest. But I know, right, it can freak you out, right, if you've had a lot of acne and then you have a bump, right? But the fear usually comes from, is my whole face going to be covered, right? This dialogue, it's a fear. But if you just let yourself relax, see what happens if you don't do anything to it. The body is self-healing. And those scars, I noticed, like a scar will fade in the same time or a lot shorter just from me doing certain things in my routine, which I figured, not eating chips, which I used to be addicted to, not putting a bunch of oil in Jerry Curl juice. Yes, I had Jerry Curl and a gold tooth back in the days. Not putting all that stuff on my face. Primarily, the things that I was eating, even a lot of the health junk was contributes to a puffy face, acne, scarring, constipation. All this information is there that's within your own body temple, but we're moving so fast and we've been conditioned and trained to really believe the marketing and the advertisements and the doctors and stuff. A lot of unhealthy doctors that smoke and drink because they have a PhD. Now, I'm not saying there isn't any validity to science, but we've had women that have had beautiful skin before all of these products and all of this crap. And so I would say there's a conflict of interest. There's a conflict of interest, and I feel passionately that Afro women of the diaspora should be able to prosper and flourish and live in abundance off of something that we do so naturally, which is beautification. Y'all feel me? Does that make sense? So I'm more comfortable. I have a blemish, I leave it alone. And I listen, because food is talking to you, giving you results on your body, puffiness, your stomach, pitted fat, your lymphatic system, all that. Your skin is talking to you, and your hair is talking to you. My scalp has never felt, I never had a bunch of dandruff, but my scalp has never been so clean, and I can feel like my skin is breathing. Intuitively, I grew up with all those lotions and creams and cocoa butter, Vaselines and stuff like that from the discount store. But I can honestly say, with nothing on my skin or olive oil or coconut oil, cold pressed, maybe shea butter, it doesn't need much. It doesn't need much. So all I have to say, what I'm doing to neaten the hair is just a thin, light scarf. So this is very, very sheer. So after I rinse it and I go in the garden, I can tie it and it can still breathe. And that helps to neaten it without styling gel. There are times where I've used the styling gel through the plant milk bag has given me the best results. But if you don't get all the chunks out of it, I've blended it, um, juiced it. I've gotten aloe water, aloe gel. But if you don't strain it really thoroughly, when it dries, it'll look great and it feel great. But when it dries, it'll look like you have either snot in your hair or dandruff flakes in your hair. So I found a plant milk bag. It really strains, as well as my nut and seed milks, especially when you make them at home. You want them to taste good, right? So texture is really important. So I take and milk the bag and squeeze the aloe gel through it, and then I eat the pulp or put some on my face and eat the pulp. But my hair, you know, it just feels so good. So I'm not saying we want to be walking around looking like a bum, but I think it can be valuable to retrain our eye, right? It can be valuable to retrain our eye to our own experience, right? So just to be in acceptance of your own eyelashes, your own eyebrows. Feel like you ain't got no eyebrows, or you don't have eyebrows, you have short eyelashes, you know. Sometimes I just use shea butter on my eyebrows and my eyelashes, and they're actually long on their own. I just want to feel and experience and be relaxed in the unique presence that I transported to this plane with, if you feel me. And health is our ultimate beauty product, right? If you're eating healthy or you're eating healthfully in a way without the labels, in a way that's giving you results, then you can look great with a t-shirt on, a pair of jeans. You won't really need much. So I think there's a background of angst and anxiety around what we look like, being chosen, all of that, and it's too much stress. I think it's too much pressure. Too much pressure. So I decided to take it all off the table. So this is what it's looking like. This is the experiment, and I'm an avid experimenter, and I really appreciate your channel. It's so articulate. I get a different vibe from your channel in terms of your really just your experiments and sharing these little subtleties. Because with in this day where everybody can peek into each other's kitchen and bathroom and see what we're using, sometimes we're so quick to jump on to the next thing. I think we don't just really sit and allow ourselves to see what is really happening. Like, we're too quick. It's like people jump onto raw foods or vegan, or they found everybody on the internet or this gel. We never really sit in simplicity and use less and see what results. Oh, and I did try the Dolly Lock spray. It did smell really nice, but I did find I don't know if it was the glycerin, my hair became a teeny bit, like just a little bit more, let me say, not less soft with it. The smell is really, really nice, but it's also interesting. I've retrained my eyes such that I actually like the smell of my hair sometimes with nothing in it. And I love oils and stuff like that, but over the years, I just like the light, clean, fresh scent of it. But I did like the Dolly Locks, but I also like my hair without anything. So I think it's interesting when I go to put things, the few times where I go to experiment and put things on, it feels so artificial. Where I remember before, when I would wear, and I wasn't a big makeup wearer, but I'd wear mascara or lip gloss, I felt funny about taking it off. So does that make sense? So now it's like the reverse. It feels like artificial when I put things on. First of all, it feels like I can't breathe in my skin, and it just feels like exaggerated or artificial. And it's interesting because I can appreciate a nice natural full face of makeup that looks very natural. But I just have really retrained my eyes to appreciate my features, and one of the biggest reasons that I do that is for relaxation. Relaxation and like a real sense of comfort and peace of mind, which is so intrinsic to our health. So I just wanted to share that quick tip with the scarf. All I do is smooth it down when it's damp. Being that there's no oil in it, it's going to dry very quickly. Sometimes even now, you know, it can say it seems like it's not growing, but that's obviously that's not true, because it does grow. But also even here, it shrinks up. I'm not going to lie, I do like the little length that it has. This is years old. It gets very, very thin because my hair is so fine. So again, the afro and leaving it and not twisting it, I find is very complimentary to fine afro textured hair because it gives it a fullness. Whereas if I was twisting this, it would be scalp city. And it's much more, I mean, my scalp feels stupendous. It doesn't, my scalp does not feel dry at all. So I know we are in the practice of oiling our hair for softness, or it feels good initially, but I have found that after a while, the oil feels hard because it attracts dust and things, and maybe that contributes to the stiffness. Is just a buildup. It feels great initially when you soften it, and every now and then I think about, oh, it feels great to soothe and smooth the hair with the oil. But eventually, I found that the buildup comes from all the dirt and the dust, right? And I can say that I see it even quicker because I'm in the garden a lot. That is attracted to the hair. So this is interesting. This is, I can't even tell you the last time I twisted my hair. As I've said before, it's all, now you can definitely see this is flat. Like if you look for the side, from the side, all of my hair grows in flat. And there's some of them that are joining. So I only have 40 locks. I don't know if I'm gonna end up with 20. This is it. You know, this is it. This is what it does. It doesn't take. So look at this. This is joining. And I intuitively, I don't know what this is gonna look like. So there goes that anxiety again. I don't know what it's gonna look like. But I've accepted the flatness. It feels healthy. I don't know, maybe I should turn so you guys can see, because I don't often get to see what my hair looks like. But this joins together like nobody's business. And maybe because it also is actually extremely soft, but it joins together very quickly with in the presence of no oil. So how's that? And we think we have to twist all the time. But anything too tight is no bueno for my hair. So I do have a tendency to pull it into two ponytails for exercise quite often. So now that I have a little wind, I have a tendency to pull it this way. Right, so I have to leave it if I want you to retrain it. And I'm extremely tender-headed, so I can't have things pulling on my hair. So light hair ornaments that either, usually my hair is like this, or maybe sometimes in one piece. So hopefully that little tip is helpful, because again, if you're freeform, I would say I'm not full freeform because I will separate from time to time. Right now, I'm just not. And it's interesting, it would seem that it doesn't grow, but it has to because it's gotten to this length. But it seems like it grows so slow, but I just don't even worry about it anymore. As long as it's healthy. Now that I can see what it looks like in the end, after some years, I would say this is my 5th year with locks. I can't even believe I'm saying that. But I can see that it's definitely going to be flat, and I think because my hair is so fine, I think intuitively I'm going to allow them to join together. So that's what this one is doing. So I've separated this one, but I'm kind of want to see what happens, because I think over time, these areas that are weak down here, they might be stronger, but it's just like, am I going to end up with 20 locks? I don't know. But what gives me comfort is that it's light, it's fluffy, and I don't have to do much to it. So I'm working with what I got and appreciating what I've got out here. So this is Body-Culinary. Please avail yourself, if you like, of the videos that are on this channel. There's also a cute little puppet series called Sister Butterfly and Sister Monkey Learn to Eat Better. Want to encourage people to cultivate a personal movement practice, to start a garden, and to embrace what you got, whatever color, because I don't have any intention to dye this. And which is interesting, my hair never took good to perms, which is why I had scalp burns. I wouldn't, I'm sure I would have, with my luck, I would have the tight, look, these are joining well too. Wow, look at that. So this feels straight, this feels good, this feels strong. Wow, this is, I don't know if I can rip this apart anymore. This is only a matter of 2 weeks. Wow, that's interesting. But with my luck, my hair would turn green or something. So like, what am I fighting? It's ridiculous. I can't, adding extra stress, I'm not gonna do it. So soothing myself with olive oil, shea butter, I can work with that. Maybe one day for a photo shoot, I'll do something. And recently I did a photo shoot, and I actually did not, I just didn't like the makeup. I felt like it looked chalky, and I get all of it. It just felt like a whole much more work. So sometimes I feel like I'm trying to make myself come to terms with wearing makeup. I'm not demonizing it. There have been times where I wore it, but even as working in the airline industry, every 10 seconds putting on makeup in between different destinations and different countries, it became too much. So it has really like kind of turned me off to a lot of that. So join the videos on this channel. I would love to hear how your radical self-acceptance journey is going. I also do post on Instagram, and from time to time on Facebook. Facebook feels a little more predatory. I think I will be discussing on some future channels or writing about how I feel about just this day and age of folks on the internet feeling like they have easy access to you. Because I know for me, look, I'm going to another. It has felt very uncomfortable. I noticed, but people DMing you from all. Actually, does not feel like it feels very unsafe, and sometimes it feels like people are very kooky, or you have these ghost avatars from behind keyboards. In any event, I don't think it's a healthy climate for women, girls, and young adults. So perhaps I'll do another video on it. But that's been something I've been considering. I don't know if we consider the long-term effects of being almost feels like a psychic, not to be negative, but almost like an attack, where folks feel there's no boundaries and the right to say anything to you and to question you. You know, kind of like if you get in an elevator, somebody's asking you where you going, what's your name, and all this, and women have a tendency to answer automatically. It is much more intense on the internet, and it doesn't make me feel comfortable. And I prioritize my safety and the safety of women, children, young adults that are around me. So let me know what y'all think. Perhaps I'll do a video on it. All right, y'all. I'm going to get off of here and go do my chores. Create a great day on purpose. See you soon.